You are now listening to Alice.
Chapter 4 years had passed since the rainy afternoon when Ethan promised Alice he would always be by her side. Promises, Alice had learned, were fragile things. They could warm you on cold nights, but they could also shatter, leaving sharp edges that cut deeper than any insult. Now she was 25, the founder and CEO of a gaming company, a name that had grown from a scribble in a school notebook into a global empire. The company's logo, two intersecting triangles forming a diamond, was known around the world. Their games dominated charts, their characters lived in the imaginations of millions, and investors showered her with praise, but nobody knew Alice Norman, not really. To the world. She was the masked CEO at every press conference. She wore her custom black mask, sleek and fitted, hiding the lower half of her face. She rarely showed her eyes either, often shielded behind tinted glasses. The story given to the press was that she valued privacy, that her anonymity gave her freedom. Some speculated it was a marketing trick. Others whispered rumors, accidents, scars, or even arrogance. Alice let them guess. It was easier than telling the truth, that even now, with everything she had built, she was still the girl no one wanted to look at. Inside the company headquarters, a 20-story glass building in the heart of the city, Alice walked the halls with quiet authority. Her employees respected her, some even admired her brilliance, but they never saw her smile. They never saw her eat with them in the cafeteria. They never heard her laugh in late-night meetings. She hid behind the mask even here, even when surrounded by the very people whose livelihoods she sustained. "Good morning, Miss Norman," her assistant, Lily, greeted her one Monday morning as Alice stepped off the private elevator. Lily was young, ambitious, and one of the few people Alice trusted enough to keep close. "Morning," Alice replied softly. Lily walked beside her, flipping through her digital tablet. "You have back-to-back meetings today. First, the quarterly investor call, then a press briefing for the new expansion launch. After that, your father called again. He wants to schedule a family dinner tonight." Alice stiffened. "Decline. You said that last week," Lily said gently. "I'll keep saying it," Alice muttered, pushing through the glass doors of her office. The room was vast, with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the skyline, minimalist furniture, and shelves lined with awards. It was everything a CEO should have, but to Alice, it felt cold and impersonal. Lily lingered, hesitant. "They're your parents." Alice sat at her desk, powering on her computer. "No, they're just people who remind me every day that I wasn't enough." Lily's lips parted as if to respond, but she thought better of it and nodded. "Understood. I'll update your schedule." When Alice was alone again, she leaned back in her chair and took a deep breath. Her mask pressed against her skin, familiar and suffocating all at once. The investor call went smoothly, as always. She delivered facts with precision, her voice calm, her answers sharp. Investors didn't care what she looked like. They cared that her games sold millions of copies. By the time the press briefing began, she was already exhausted. The cameras flashed as she stood at the podium. Reporters shouted questions about the new game, about rumors of a movie adaptation, about her future plans. Alice answered each one with poise, never faltering, even as her pulse pounded. When someone asked, "Will you ever show your face to the world?" Alice froze for half a second. She recovered quickly. "The focus should always be on the games, not me." The room erupted in applause. Headlines would later call her mysterious, brilliant, untouchable, but when the briefing ended, Alice slipped out the back door, her chest tight. She made it to her car, dismissed her driver, and slid into the back seat, removing her glasses to rub her aching eyes. Her phone buzzed, a message from her mother. "Come to dinner tonight. Your father insists. You've played enough games. It's time to join the family business." Alice's stomach twisted. She had heard the exact words since childhood. Her parents had never understood her dreams. To them, gaming was a waste, a hobby, a phase. Even now, with her company worth billions, they still dismissed it. To them, her success meant nothing compared to the Norman family legacy of real estate and politics. Her phone buzzed again. "Don't embarrass us further. Be home by 7. Alice's hands trembled as she set the phone aside. No matter how old she was, no matter how much she achieved, her parents' words always found their mark. She had built an empire, but she still felt like the girl hiding in her room, overhearing her sisters mock her dreams. She needed air. Without thinking, she left the car behind and walked. The city stretched around her, blinding billboards, honking cars, the endless rush of people. She pulled her hood low and tightened her mask, blending into the crowd as best she could. Her steps carried her to the park. It was quieter there, the noise of the city fading into rustling leaves and distant laughter of children playing. Alice found an empty bench beneath a tree and sat heavily, her shoulders slumping. For the first time in weeks, she let herself breathe. She watched a young girl chase bubbles across the grass, her laughter ringing like music. Her father chased after her, smiling as if nothing else in the world mattered. Alice's chest tightened. She had never known that kind of affection. She had never been someone's joy. Her phone buzzed again. She ignored it. The tears came suddenly, hot and unstoppable. She pulled off her glasses, covering her face with her hands, but the sobs broke free anyway. She cried for the childhood she never had, for the parents who never loved her as she was, for the mask she couldn't take off even in freedom. She cried because she had everything and still felt empty. Her shoulders shook. She bit her lip, trying to silence herself, but the dam had broken. She didn't hear the footsteps until the bench shifted beside her. Alice froze, her breath hitching. Someone had sat down. Slowly, she lowered her hands, blinking through her tears. A stranger sat there, close enough to feel the warmth of his presence but far enough to respect her space. He didn't say anything. He didn't look at her with pity or curiosity. He just sat there, steady, silent, like an anchor in the storm. Alice's heart pounded. Who was he? Why was he here, beside her, when the rest of the world had always chosen to walk away?